Hey guys, my name is Crystal May and welcome to Yoga for Runners. Binks and I are going to show you a quick 10-minute stretch for you to do after a long run, and it's going to help your muscles heal faster. It's going to lengthen out your muscles in your tissue, increase your blood flow, and get you back in those runners ASAP. For this first stretch, you're going to need a block. If you do not have a block at home, even rolling up your mat or using anything, even a rolled up towel will help you. You just want to elevate the ball of your foot up for this stretch. So you're going to take whatever prop you have, you're going to stick it onto its flattest height, and you're going to step on it with your right foot. You're going to take the ball of the right foot and place it onto a block, and then take your heel and drop it down towards the ground. What you're really looking for is an elevation through the ball of the foot. Heel drops down, you're going to get a good stretch out of your calves. Now you can actually stand tall, or you're going to start to fold the body forward. If you can't touch the ground, your second block becomes your best friend. You're going to place it underneath your hands. Now from here, you're going to put a little bend into your knees, take the seated bones, lift them straight up towards the sky, and then slowly start to try and straighten out the legs a little bit more. You're going to feel a deep stretch into the entire back line of the body. Hold here just for a couple more breaths. How are your calves, Binks? From here, you're going to start to lift your spine, lift up with your core, and you're going to take the block and just slowly slip it out from underneath the right foot. Now take your left foot, step it to the back of your mat, and you're going to drop the knee down into a low lunge. Now you can take blocks underneath each hand or pile them both underneath your left hand, right hand to the thigh. There's no wrong answer, just find the support that you need. Now from here, you're going to take your right hip, you're going to pull it back, take the tailbone, anchor it straight down towards the ground. So you're going to feel the bowl of your pelvis tilt back. So the tailbone's going to go under. The bowl of your pelvis is literally going to tilt back slightly. You're going to feel that through the left hip flexor, left quads. Stay here. You're going to take your spine, lunge into that front thigh. You're going to hold into dragon for a couple breaths. Okay, try and soften out through your shoulders. Just take one more breath here. And then you're going to take your blocks, you're going to send them forward so that they're towards the right foot. Take the back knee, walk it back just like a touch. From here, you're going to start to straighten out through that front thigh, and you're going to pull back into a half split. Ardha Hanumanasana. Okay, from here, do the same thing you did in your calf stretch. You're going to put a little bend into the front knee. You're going to take your seated bones and lift them up towards the sky. Now stay there. Slowly straighten out the leg into a little bit more of a stretch into the hamstrings and the calves again. Hold here. Try and lengthen out through the spine as much as you feel like you can. You can even kind of pull the right hip back just a little bit, lengthen, and then if you want to make it deeper, bend into the elbows to send your heart towards your toes. Okay, take just one more breath here. And then you're going to lunge back into the front thigh. Stay with me here. You're going to take those blocks forward. You're going to come back up to stand on your right leg. You're going to take your left foot. You're going to scoop it behind your right so that your pinky toes are on the same side. Okay, do the same thing you just did. You're going to take your seated bones, lift them up, and then you're going to fold over top of your legs, and you're going to get an IT band stretch out of your left leg. Now try and think about your heart going towards your toes. So even try as you lift the seated bones up, think lengthen out through the spine. You'll feel a big pull into the outside of that leg. Try and keep your shoulders soft. Just a couple more breaths here. This one's spicy, you guys. Okay, from here you're just going to lengthen through the spine. You're going to unravel the feet, and then you're going to come back down into a little squat. When you come closer down towards the ground, it's less shocking for your blood pressure than if you were just to stand right up. So coming down into a squat is a really nice way to ease your body out of the pose. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on the left side. Take your prop, turn it flat. You're gonna take the ball of the left foot onto the block, drop the heel down. That's it. You can either stand tall or fold forward. Take a little bend into the knees, take your seated bones, lift them up, whew, and then straighten out those legs again. Hold here. Okay, we're gonna step right back into dragon. So you're gonna slowly take that block out from underneath the foot. You can even step your left foot forward a little bit, step your right foot back, drop the knee. You're gonna come down into your dragon pose. It's just a fancy term for a low lunge. Set yourself up however you feel comfortable. I promise there's no wrong way. It's whatever's gonna make you feel stable. And then from here, you're gonna pull the left hip back, right hip forward, take the tailbone, anchor it down, lengthen out through the spine, lunge into that front thigh. You see just like a tail. Okay, if you need to roll the shoulders back a couple times, just take a couple deep breaths from here. Okay, guys, just take one more breath, and then you're gonna take blocks forward. You're gonna lean your spine forward, take your front foot a little bit further forward or your back knee a little further back, and you're gonna straighten out that front leg into a half split. Okay, do the same thing you did before. Put a little bend into the knee, take your seated bones, lift them up towards the sky, and then slowly straighten out the leg again. That's it. Now, if you can, pull back through the ball of the foot, pull back through the pinky side of the foot, lengthen out through the spine. If you want to make this deeper, take your blocks lower, or take your elbows, bend into them just a little bit, send your heart towards your toes. Okay, guys, from here you're gonna lunge back into the front thigh. You're gonna start to come up to stand on the left leg. Your right leg is gonna lift up, and then you're gonna scoop it behind the left so that your pinky toes are on the same side. Now from here, take your seated bones, lift them straight up, lengthen out through the spine, hinge over top of those hips. Okay, guys, from here you're going to start to unravel the feet. Come down into a squat. Be gentle with your motions. And take a couple deep breaths from here. This next stretch works really well if you have a bolster. If you don't, just roll up a blanket and it'll work just fine. So you're going to line this up so that it's behind you. I like a little elevation underneath my head, so my head's a little bit higher. You're just going to line up anything behind you that's going to be supportive for your spine. Now, you're going to turn your back to it. You're going to take your right foot, tuck it in beside your glutes so that you have a full bend into this leg. Take your hands behind your back, lift your hips up, tuck your tailbone down, slowly drop your glutes back down. So now you've created a posterior tilt in your pelvis, same way we did in dragon. And then you're going to slowly start to lay down onto the bolster, and you're going to find a deep, deep stretch into your quads. If laying down is way too deep for you, if you're up here and you're like, yep, I feel that, just hang out here. This is just as good. And so just be mindful about what your body is communicating with you. Just make sure you're offering it what it wants, not what you think it should get. Okay, if you also find that this is not deep enough, then don't be shy to tuck both legs in. If you want to do a full saddle instead of a half saddle, that's just as good. Okay guys, take just one more breath here, and then you're going to start to lift your way back up. Please be mindful about how you lift. You're going to slowly release that leg out, and you're going to switch legs. Take your hands behind your back, lift your hips up, tuck your tailbone, drop that pelvis back down, nice and slow. You're going to start to slowly release back down so that your whole body is supported. Make sure there's no pinching or shooting pain in your knee. We're looking for a stretch into your quads and your hip flexors. Your quads work so hard for you on a run. And so we really just want to give them the opportunity to like really pull apart so that they can have a chance to repair faster. And then you just get an opportunity for them to actually be stronger. Hi, you're kind of in the way. You don't care. Take a couple more breaths here. Okay, you're going to come back up. And then you're going to slowly release those legs out, give them a little bit of a shake. One more stretch. Stay with me. You're going to turn sideways on your mat. You can actually use your towel or your bolster for this one as well. You're going to stick it out in front. We're going to do just a couple breaths in dragonfly. So you're going to turn sideways on your mat. You're going to take your stance as long, as wide as you feel comfortable with. Please don't worry about how far it goes. It's not relevant in any way. As long as you're feeling a stretch, you're doing it, okay? Take your bolster in front. You're going to pull the flesh of the glutes back, physically grab the glute muscles and pull them back so that the pelvis goes forward. So it's going to tilt forward a little bit, anterior tilt. And then, if there's not a cat in your way, you're going to lean forward onto your bolster. Now, if you can go further forward, awesome. If you can't go forward at all, that's fine. Make sure that you are feeling a stretch. Aren't you supposed to be nocturnal? Shouldn't you be sleeping right now? Okay, stay where you are. You're going to take your heart, you're going to twist it towards your right leg. If you find that this is too heavy, then what you're going to do is bend into the other knee. So sole of the foot comes in towards the middle of your pelvis. So lengthen the spine, you're going to fold over top of your right leg, and you're going to find a stretch from here. Okay, take one more breath here. And then you're going to slowly come back up and you're going to switch legs. So again, you can keep both legs straight or you can bend into the opposite knee, send the heart towards the left leg, and then fold over top of it. Okay, take one more breath here. And then you're going to slowly come all the way back up. Take soles of the feet back in towards each other. So you can even grab like the insides of the knees. Pull the soles of the feet back in, and then you're just going to butterfly the knees. Okay, you guys, that's it. That's the video. If you want a longer video, I have a yoga for runners that's a good solid half an hour. It's a deep stretch, a lot of the same moves, but you just hold them for longer periods of time so you can get really deep into that connective tissue. Please let me know what you think. Don't be shy to subscribe. Hit that button right there. Subscribe to the channel, and thank you guys so much for coming. Namaste. Hi.